How's it going, everybody? Mr. Poestyle here, back with another fabulous Mr. Poestyle gameplay. And today, I'm going to play Threshold by TigerVision for the Atari 2600. Here's my cart. There it is. Look at that little flying camper, flying Winnebago there. And this was before Spaceballs. Predicted the future, huh? Spaceships were going to look like family fun getaway campers. Anyway, I'm going to be 100% honest. The reason I got this game was because of the cartridge. It's orange. You didn't see that a lot back in the day on 2600. Usually it was the basic 2600 cartridge. Unless it was Activision, their cartridge is a little different. M Network, their cartridge was a Intellivision cartridge with a piece on it to fit into your Atari 2600 cartridge port. But Threshold by TigerVision did orange and their own cartridge stock. Can you see that? There's little ridges here. There's your PCB. Cool box art, comparable to a lot of the cool box art or label art at the time. And there on the back, you have your TigerVision logo. More ridges. And it's one that I got for the collection, purely for the looks, but I will play it here for you today. And if you watched my last video, I kind of did a reveal of what I was going to be doing next. Orange. You didn't watch my last video. The last video I did was Goonies for the Famicom, Japanese exclusive. And at the end of it, this came that same day I was shooting that video, and I showed it. But sadly, I only got like 2 or 3 views on that. I don't care. Today I'm going to play this game. We're going to see what it's all about. Now, to be 100% honest, I kind of got bored with space games during the 2600 era. Now, like everybody else, Star Wars was my very favorite when I got mine. At that point, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back were out. I had seen both at the movies. I got my Atari in 82, Christmas of 82, so we didn't see Return of the Jedi till May of 83, I believe it was, which ended up being my very favorite Star Wars movie. But space shooters were everywhere. Arcades and Atari, Intellivision. Everybody was doing them, and pretty soon you had a bunch of just space-type themed games absolutely everywhere. I did love playing Asteroids and Space Invaders. Cosmic Ark was a freaking great game by Magic. But at one point, I just kind of got burnout. I played Phoenix, Demon Attack. And that's what some of the characters, the baddies, in Threshold remind me of. You got ones that kind of have wings. So it's kind of like Phoenix and the way that it looks. But to get back to the cartridge style, TigerVision, who later became Tiger Electronics, that did the Tiger handheld games in the late 80s and 90s. They were TigerVision at the time. TigerVision, not for Intellivision, but Atari. Their game cartridges looked unique, like I said, and I recently did a video on King Kong by TigerVision. Same thing, you got your ridges. Now, interestingly enough, the King Kong version, and maybe it's just mine, of my Threshold, the King Kong version does have the, what do they call it? Dust protector or whatever, spring-loaded, that when you put it in the system, the PCB then comes out. Gets a chubby, comes out. You don't have that on Threshold, so that's something that they left out, at least on mine. but unique looking cartridges. Here's another one. Mine are 2049er, which is a lot of people's favorite game of that time. Doesn't have the little spring-loaded dust cover thingy, but it has the same ridges. It's unique. This is definitely their game cartridge, their shell. And they all just look really sweet. Look at that. Although the white wasn't anything really unique. You know, probably later on after this. I didn't look into it. But ColecoVision, when they ported their games over to the 2600, they were white cartridges. And of course I have those like Donkey Kong and Venture with the white cartridges. But I'm not sure who did it first. Could have been TigerVision. That blue, that orange, just so vibrant, jumps right out at you. So even if the games aren't the greatest, they look good. And I'm not usually about looks. I collect to play, not display. But they look really nice. And no, I don't have Jawbreaker. I don't know what that goes for now. Probably a small fortune. Probably got a remortgage to get that for original cart. But they look great. The cartridges themselves really do look nice for display. Okay, you've seen them enough. We're going to get to some gameplay here. We'll talk a little bit about it. It was released in 1982, published by TigerVision, only for the Atari 2600. I've seen other videos on this game. You know, it came out for Commodore 64. I think the Atari 8-bit family. Originally Apple II, I think, was the very first system or computer that it came out for. It came out for ColecoVision, and actually Willie from Arcade USA has an older video where he plays it on the ColecoVision. I didn't buy that version. The cartridge doesn't look that unique, number one. Number two, the one copy of it that I did find on eBay was like $60, and I'm just like, yeah, I'll probably emulate it before I buy that. I do collect for the ColecoVision, but that's not a must-have for me right now. But it does look really nice on the computer systems, the Commodore 64, you know, the ColecoVision even. On there, they show your fuel gauge on the one side. The other side from that is your overheat. Your lasers, your gun can overheat if you shoot too much. And it shows that on the other versions. They don't show that on the 2600 version. Probably because of limitations of the system, of the hardware, of the software, problems with memory at the time. I don't know. But in between those two bars on the other system, they show how many lives you have, how many ships. And it's really cool because when you die in the game on those ones, it kind of looks like you're launching from another ship or launching from the ground. But they show your ships. You die here. The next one takes off. And then it's on the screen at the bottom and you play. They don't do that in the 2600 version. Bare bones. But let's get to the gameplay now. And then we'll wrap this all up by telling you what I think overall about it. Sorry about that, everybody. Looks like my tripod slipped again. It's a little loose. Time for a new tripod. Had everything set up perfect. Went to play the game. And boom, my camera slides at a weird angle. There you go. That was Threshold by TigerVision for the Atari 2600, published by TigerVision for the Atari 2600 in 1982. If you want to learn more, just type it into Google, look at the Wikipedia. They have it all right there for you. I do believe it was a clone of, or they were trying to, there was a Sega game out at the time that this must have been close to what they were trying to bring home to you. The gameplay was tough, and I do believe the hardest difficulty level is just when you fire up the game and start. You should really go through and adjust your A's and B's and blahs and whatnot. I don't have manuals for these. I usually just do this like I did as a kid when I first get a game home. I threw it into the Atari 2600, turned it on and played. Didn't read about the difficulties till later and other game modes and tried them out. It was fun, and like I said earlier, it's kind of like Phoenix or Demon Attack. Some of the first wave, they kind of had wings, but hard as hell. For me, you noticed, I died a lot of times. I did terrible at this game. I did get to the second wave where they kind of looked like Fry Guys or little jellyfish or something. Fry Guys, that's retro, remember? The 1980s, friggin' Fry Guys from McDonald's. But that's what they look like coming down at you, the second wave. I don't know what the next waves are or how many there were. I didn't look into that enough. I know I did see and other gameplay that I watched. There's a wave where they all come flying across horizontally rather than vertically. And that looked like I would have got my ass kicked royally there too. But I should go back in one day and play it and try to do better. When I was filming this, it was on my Retron 77. And, when you died and you lost all 3 lives or whatever it is, you had to get up and reset the system like you do on the Atari. The system wasn't real close to me, so it's like I'm playing, I'm dying, I'm playing, I'm dying. Come on, man, I want to get further. And I just finally got to the point in the gameplay video there that it was like, okay, I'm not going to get to see the level of the horizontal guys coming at you. So I ended it there. But it is fun, and it's hard to rate these games if you're going to rate them looking at them now, especially if you're somebody that wasn't around when this was around. Now, I was born in 1973. We got it in 1982, so I was 9 years old, the 2600. A lot of people now are looking back, if you don't have the retro feels for it. I didn't play this game back then. So it's easy to look at it and say, wow, this sucks, or the graphics sucks, or this or that. But if you're thinking about it within its time, it's a good game. It's not as terrible as a lot of the games that came out. It's nothing that's super great like a Yours Revenge or anything from a Magic at the time. I love the Magic and Activision. It's just all right. So is that a thumbs up? It's not a thumbs down. It's this if I were reviewing the game. It's all right, but it looks beautiful. There's something to be said for that. TigerVision definitely did something different than everybody else at that moment. Different colored cartridges, little ridges, different casing. They're really nice. The only other company that I can think of that did just as good as, if not better, at making a beautiful cartridge was a Magic. Now, sure, all of a Magic's cartridges look like other Magic cartridges, but it was a different shape, a different design. And, they were shiny. They were chromed out. They were foily looking. So each company did what they thought they needed to do to be aesthetically pleasing. I am sweating like crazy. It is humid as hell here. My blood pressure medication makes me sweat to begin with. But it's a zillion degrees here in western PA with a zillion% humidity. And we got thunderstorms coming through right now. Severe thunderstorm alerts for western Pennsylvania near the Pittsburgh area. So I'm going to wrap this up. I rambled on long enough. I got to try to hurry up and mow the grass before the rain comes. What do you think about Threshold by TigerVision for the Atari 2600? Do you like it? Do you hate it? I sucked. I don't need to ask that question. I definitely sucked in the video. But it was still fun playing. You'd sit down and maybe take some time with it next time, more time with it, and actually give it a real go. But I had fun. The cartridge looks great. These cartridges look great. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.